Hey YouTube, it's your boy Richie here, coming at you with some more Age of Empires 3 Definitive Edition. And today I give you the detailed deck run through for the Maltese. And this is going to be truly exciting. I'm so happy that I've been given this opportunity to show you this, guys. And it's going to get you all hyped up. We're going to be theory crafting, meta building, getting an idea of what cards are going to be really crucial for Malta. So strap yourselves in. And without further ado, let's get into this. Right, guys, you find me on the main menu here, and look at Malta. Look how beautiful it is. Gotta say, a big congratulations to the devs. They've done an amazing job. So without further ado, let's jump in and have a look at the deck. And we're going to be running through from Age 1 to Age 4. We're going to be looking at the unique cards, and let's just have a think about how important these cards are going to be to the gameplay, to the meta, and strategies in the future. So without further ado, let's do this. So the first card that we have is the Merchant Republics. We get a trading post wagon. We get 30% income on all future stuff, on all of the TPs that we have. And also on anything that you've got in the past from your TPs, you get 20% of that. So 20% of all resources you have earned so far are granted to you again, which is absolutely crazy. So I think this card is going to be really good if you want to play like the TP line on a map. If it's got a really nice TP line and you want to play more Age 2, I think the Merchant Republics is going to be a good option. You do have this available to the Italians as well. Okay, moving on to the next one here. We've got the Vittoriosa. My pronunciation was probably awful there. I do apologize to the Maltese audience, but this enables you to construct an additional early town center. So it increases the build limit of your town centers. It doesn't give you a town center wagon. That's what I thought initially. However, your settler food cost reduction is reduced by 35%. So it's only going to cost you 65 food to create a settler. Now, that could be a potential option for you to get maybe as an Age 2 card. If you really want to go eco-heavy and you want to get that reduction in food cost, I don't know whether it's worth it. I'm not too sure, but a very interesting card at that. Moving on to the next card, we've got the Baraka Gardens. This arrives really fast, and all of your current food is exchanged for an equal amount of wood. Okay, and you can get that unlimited times, which is very nice. Moving on, we have the team card here. The Knights of the Round Table means that you ship one Hospitaller. Now, the Hospitaller card is basically, it's a bit like a the German sword. What's it called? The big German sword guy. What's it blooming called? Oh, for God's sake. Hang on. What's it called? The DOPS. That's it. It's like a DOPS unit, basically. That's what it is. It's a DOPS unit, and they're good at heavy cav and shock infantry. So there you go. So very interesting card at that. And I've lost where I am. There I am. Right. Okay, so yeah, and also it grants you 2% HP to all your units on your team, unlike your other team cards. So once again, I think this could be a very good card later on in the game when you're maybe getting ready to attack as a team, whether it's a 3v3 or a 4v4. And the minute that comes in, 2% HP to everything, and you also get the one Hospitaller to each member, every town center they have on the map. So it might only be 3 Hospitallers, but you get it for each team member. So that's not too bad. It's not too bad. Could be a potential option. Moving on, we have the Bailiff here. Improves your Grandmaster in combat, enables him to boost nearby building construction speed, and gives him a powerful Caprine companion. Very nice. I don't know what the Caprine is. Delivers one Lamb of the Lord, a heroic sheep scout that cannot attack. Wow, you have like a crazy ass sheep flying around the map. A very interesting card at that. Moving on, we do have the advanced commanderies. Now the commanderies, I'm going to say commanderies. I say commandery, commandery. So the commandery is a stable, right? However, this stable costs 250 wood, and 100 gold. Another crazy thing is you can garrison in this building, and it can also attack, just like a blockhouse. And if you build a second one, you can garrison in one and pop out the other. I kid you not, it's a teleportation. So if you're familiar with AOM, Age of Mythology, there is a god called Uranus, and he has sky passages, and you can basically funnel a bunch of troops into one sky passage, and it'll pop out the other. That's exactly what the commandery does, which is crazy. And this card here reduces the cooldown of the deploy ability, which is the garrison teleportation ability, and it also reduces the time it takes to build them by 40%. So that is a potential card. I don't know whether it's going to be super useful because the cooldown actually isn't that bad. It's something like 10 or 15 seconds. Like in all seriousness, how often are you going to be using that? I think you could potentially do something crazy here. You could build one in your base and then you could have one like right behind your enemy's base or something like that. And you could just funnel the troops in and pop them out the other end. The only downside is that is a lot of resources to invest in. It's that for two of them, it's 500 wood and 200 gold. So it is a lot to invest in, especially early in the game. So who knows? Maybe a later game option. Moving on, we do see the Greek fire. So this enables docks to construct fire ships, explosive vessels stowed with Greek fire, a secret incendiary mixture which inflicts considerable damage upon contact. Very nice. We enable the fire ship production. And moving on, we do see the Speranos or Speranarus. Improves the movement speed of all your ships by 10% for the normal ships, 20% for galleys, and 20% for fishing boats. That could be quite a good card, especially with like the ship micro and stuff like that. Having that extra speed could be really nice. So that's an interesting card. Maybe might see that. Who knows? And I believe that's it. I think the last one here is the stonemasons. I'm not too sure if that's new or not. They have changed some of the artwork on some of the original cards. As you can see here, the town militia is different. I'm not too sure if that's a new or old card. I'm not entirely sure, but 65% increase on the work rate there for the buildings, so you can build them much faster. So there we go, guys. That's the Age 1 cards. Let's jump into Age 2 and see what kind of unit shipments we have for the Maltese. Right, guys, let's jump into this from left to right. Let's have a look at these new cards. We do have this one here, and I think this one is going to be one that's going to be used quite a bit. It's called the Wignacourt Constructions, and settlers gather natural resources significantly faster when nearby a town centre or outpost. And I think this civ is going to be quite an eco-civ. I think I'm already looking at some of the cards that are being used, and we've also got the food cost reduction on settlers, which was in the Age 1 deck. We have the build limit increase on the TC, and now we have this where settlers gather resources faster. This is a little bit sort of similar to the Rus in Age of Empires 4, where you build that log cabin and that improves resource collection rates. That is very similar to this card right here. How much increase? I don't know. It says significantly, so we'll have to see in testing how much that is going to be, but still a very interesting card of that, and one I think people will definitely be trying out. Moving on to the next, we do have the German tongue here. This ships a commandery wagon and a number of settler wagons, enabling commanderies to recruit settlers. Okay, so it delivers one commandery wagon and 2 settler wagons, which are the German villager unit that are basically a buffed villager unit. And it sets the build limit to 5 for the settler wagons, and it adds an extra build limit on the commandery. So this is actually cheaper because to actually build a commandery, it costs you 250 wood and 100 gold. So I think this could definitely be a card that you kind of get the minute you get into Age 2. You get this card. You know, you get a commandery wagon, which is basically a stables, and you get 2 settler wagons. I mean, that for 250 wood, surely that's got to be a card that you use. Very nice to see. Moving on, what do we have? We do have a nice card here. Trip to Jerusalem returns 10 wood and 10 coin for each unit you have lost so far in this game, up to a maximum of 1,500 resources. Okay, very nice to see. Something to use later on in the game, perhaps. Moving on, we've got the, is that the Auberges? The commanderies once again gain additional hit points and now also support population. Wow. They increase population cap by 30 and 30% on hit points as well. That's mad. So you could get this card and then get this one, and that's basically like 3 houses. That's like 300 wood. And you get a hit point increase. Okay. Interesting card. Once again, a lot being focused around the commandery building. That's something quite crucial to the Maltese, is using that building. Moving on, we do have Knights of Bodrum here. The Knights of Bodrum ship 1 Hospitaler for each outpost you have on the map. That's another thing as well. I think building outposts and TCs is crucial because once again, it ties in to this one here. So they gather significantly faster when nearby a town centre or outpost. So I think there's going to be something around building outposts, TCs. I don't know whether it stacks. I don't know if you've got an outpost and a TC, whether it does increase it further. I'm not too sure. We will have a look. Moving on to the next card, we have the British Tongue here. 500 wood. We get another commandery wagon and a number of powerful order longbows. So some special longbow units there. We get 7 of those and a commandery wagon once again. So I think there's a lot of stuff going on around wood here. We've got these 2 quite powerful cards requiring wood. I think we could maybe go down the route of maybe going 700 wood, maybe getting German Tongue first, then maybe chopping wood in transition, getting 400 wood age up, maybe then getting British Tongue straight off the back of that. And then we've got 2 commandery wagons. We can have 1 in base, 1 more in the forward position, and we've also got some eco and a bunch of units. I think, you know, this could be really, really, really interesting. Moving on, we've got a collection of military units here. Once again, very similar to the Italians. However, they are not grouped up like the Italians and also like the Mexicans as well. We just have the single sort of type of unit shipment. And the first one here is the 8 Hanover Allies. 500 coin it costs. You get fast German hand cavalry that charges its deadly saber attack ability when attacking. Okay, we'll have to see how powerful that cav is. Moving on, we have the 9 Fanar Allies again, which is also seen in the Italian side. 500 gold again, Greek skirmishers with high hit points, particularly strong against heavy infantry. Moving on to the Irish Brigadiers, affordable musketeer from Ireland with a high hand attack. You get 11 of those, but it does not counter cavalry. It benefits from promotions. That's interesting. I don't know what benefits from promotions mean, but this looks interesting. So they're not that, but does not counter cavalry. Interesting. It's just an affordable musketeer. Maybe it's just like they just have a base attack damage and that's kind of it. They don't really have any multipliers. Who knows? Let's see. Moving on, we do have, look at this beautiful card here, Flamethrowers. Equips fire throwers with a flamethrower, a powerful charged attack that inflicts considerable burning damage in close range combat. I'd love to see that one in action. Moving on, we do see the fort construction here. Enables forts to be constructed by your Grand Master and Sentinels in any age. Increases fort build limit. Now your Grand Master or Grandmaster, I believe, is it your architect? Your Sentinels are a military unit. Your Sentinels are like a musketeer unit, I believe, that basically get buffed if they're near fortifications. So I'm not too sure what the Grand Master is. Have to see. We've got wall guns here. Walls improve the attack and range of your nearby sentinels, and that's what I've just mentioned. So that actually improves it even further. So this could be really good against, like, for treaty games especially. Wall guns is going to be a really crucial card. Moving on, we've got gunpowder mills. You receive a free gunpowder depot wagon with all your shipments, starting with this one. That says depots. Depots boost gunpowder attack speed and explode if destroyed, damaging all units. Oh my god, it's like a... Yeah, it's like a fire ship, but as a building. That's absolutely crazy. Gunpowder mills. I don't know what depots mean. What depots? Oh my god. I was saying depots. It's depots. Jesus Christ. Yeah. Depots boost gunpowder attack speed and explode if destroyed. Okay, very interesting there. Not too sure if that's quite a gimmicky card. I don't know whether or not that's going to be used too much. We'll just have to see how that one plays out. Moving on, we've got a couple of ships. We've got the Order Galleys, which is basically the large galley version of the ship. And we have the Corso Galleys here. That ship's another one of those Order Galleys, and it increases their HP and attack damage quite significantly. So that's good for sort of water play. Moving on, we've got the offshore support once again. And finally, at the end here, we have theatres, which upgrades your taverns to theatres, which have Ronin and Outlaw type units, cost less population. So that's also used if you want to go for probably some more like type of mercenary kind of play. So there we go, guys. That's all the Age 2 cards. I've got to say, just looking at it, I think this one, and this one are going to be pretty darn crucial, and I think that is great value for money. 250 wood, you get 2 settler wagons, and you get the commandery, which costs 250 wood and 100 gold. I think German Tongue is definitely going to be one to go for. British Tongue as well on top of that. I'm not entirely sure if you go for both, because it's always good to have 2 commanderies because they work as like a TP link. They're basically like a teleportation. You can just put units in one, pop out the other. So maybe that's a potential route that you can go down. So let's get into the Age 3 cards. Right, guys, Age 3, let's do this. Let's jump into the first unique card, and we have right here the Spanish Tongue. So this is, once again, it ships another commandery wagon. It costs 1,000 food, but you do get 7 Garroquistas, which are the Lancer, special Lancer type units that you can get with the Spanish. So once again, I don't know whether or not, I don't know how many of these commanderies you're going to be building. You could have like 3 or 4 on the map, all in different areas, and you could be using it to like transport units here, there, and everywhere. I'm not really too sure about it. But there we go. Spanish tongue, a nice card. Moving on, we do have the Portuguese tongue, which is slightly cheaper, 750 wood. You get 10 Vet Cazadors, and once again, you get that Commandery Wagon shipment as well. And we do have Knights of Rhodes here. You get the Knights of Rhodes ships 3 Hospitalis for each Commandery you have on the map. Nice. That could be a good card to have in Age 3. Stick that bad boy in Age 3. You've got this one, Spanish tongue. You could also, you know, put the other tongues, the German tongue, the British tongue, and you could have 2 or 3 commanderies, and then you're gonna easily get yourself 9 Hospitalis there. So very good. Hospitalis are actually quite expensive. I think they're 120 food and 80 gold. So they are extremely expensive units. Moving on, we do see, what do we see here? We do see, look at this, 8 Sentinels. Once again, another kind of expensive unit, a ranged unit at that. I think this is, yeah, this is the heavy musketeer unit for the Maltese. So we don't have actual musketeers, we have these Sentinels instead. And you can see here we've got 2 shipments. We've got the Hospitalis, as I mentioned, and we do move on to the Fire Throwers. Look at this. I think this is an Age 3 unit. Definitely something you probably want in your deck, especially if you're going for the Flamethrower card there. And the Fire Throwers, they're light infantry. They attack with incendiary weapons, which inflict burning damage. They counter heavy infantry and light cavalry. Interesting. Okay, so they're basically like a skirmish unit, but they have like an AOE sort of incendiary weapon there. So very, very cool. I definitely want to see how they work with the Flamethrower upgrade. I think that'll be awesome. You can maybe go with these guys, and you can maybe have, I don't know, Flamethrowers with the Hospitalis. That'll be kind of a cool mix you could do as a composition. Who the hell knows? Moving on, we got the fixed gun here. A very interesting kind of building, this one. It's a fixed gun, powerful stationary artillery, which costs population. I'm not too sure. I think this would work a lot better in Treaty. However, you could construct this like right outside of your enemy's base. You could really contain them. You could maybe go for like an FF. You could get the fixed gun out there as soon as possible. I don't know the true stats of this gun yet. I haven't looked into it, but that could be kind of a wild sort of maybe meme build that you could do there. Moving on, we've got the hired armored pistoliers costing 1,000 gold. Heavy ranged infantry mercenary from Savoy who uses thick, darkened armor to deflect some of the damage inflicted to nearby allies. Delivers 8 armored pistoliers. Lovely. Another 1,000 coin card here, the giant grenadiers. Look at these guys. 8 giant grenadiers. They inflict area damage with their range attack. We got the Pandurs, another 1,000 coin one. Notorious skirmishers from the Balkans that counters skirmishers. Skirms that counter skirms. Interesting. Okay, so kind of like a skirmisher, basically like a heavy infantry with a range resist. Is that kind of what they're going to be like? Maybe not, like say counter skirms. I'd love to see what other things they counter, whether it is just light infantry. Interesting. Moving on, we do see this Steel Bolts. Now, this card is also within the Italian civilization as well, and it improves both the crossbowmen and the Paviziers. The crossbowmen you'll have with the Maltese. The Paviziers are the unique unit for the Italians, and this basically increases the all action damage basically and range. So you can see here, inflicts greater damage to heavy infantry and buildings with their bolts. So it basically buffs their counters more. Makes them a little bit more of a siege unit, and also gives them extra range, which is really nice to see. And it improves their line of sight. So I think this is actually a really good card. Really nice upgrade. Moving on, we got the Archaic Soldier Combat. Now, I think that is something that you will see in the Spanish deck. I don't know whether the Italians have this one. But once again, increasing crossbow and pikemen. I don't know if they're classing the Hospitalis as pikemen. If they are, then that's pretty darn good. You could go for kind of like a crazy Hospitaler crossbow sort of play. Who knows? Moving on, we've got the Sovereign Order of Malta. This is the unique Maltese infantry attack and hit points increased. So that's increasing your Sentinel, Hospitaller, and Fire Thrower. That is a must. You've got to have that in your deck, surely. Get that bad boy in. That is really, really nice. That just upgrades everything that you get out of your barracks. Very nice. Or your hospital, sorry. Moving on, we got Squires here. Military buildings work faster, especially forts. Military building, training, and research. I think Squires is that unique? It looks quite new, that card. Training and research, work rate, 60%. Okay. Wow. And the fort training and research is 250%. Wow. I'm not too sure. Is that? I'm not too sure if that's an old one. I'm not too sure. Maybe they've updated the picture. Moving on, we do have the Duredin Towers. That ships 2 outpost wagons, enables outposts to train Maltese infantry. That's actually pretty nice because, as we know, there is a card here in H1 that basically means... H2. That means that the gathering of natural resources is significantly faster when nearby a town centre or outpost. So if you've got that enabled... and then you ship 2 more outposts, you can just increase your economy. And also, as you can see there, you can train Maltese infantry, which is very, very nice. Moving on, we do see fire towers. Look at this. Researches frontier outposts enables an additional powerful short-ranged fire attack. Wow, that's going to be very, very nice to see. I can't wait to see that. Naval gunners, we got the, is that Chibex? Chibex of the Order. Costs 250 gold. We ship a powerful Chibec. Transforms all your frigates into Chibex as well. Very nice, very nice. And that is it. There we go, guys. That is all of the unique cards for Age 3. I'm struggling to speak. There's just so much going on. Let me know, of course, what you guys think down below. We are going to be moving on now to the final Age 4, the juicy bits. Let's see what unique cards Maltese can offer in Age 4. Right, let's have a look at Age 4 cards, guys. So the first one here, we do have the shipping supplies. Ships 2,000 wood the first time you send it and 1,000 thereafter. And it's an unlimited card. Very interesting. I think this could be really good if you want to do like mass sort of infantry upgrades when you get into Age 4. Shipping 2,000 wood is really going to help you get those guard upgrades that you need. So very interesting card at that. We move on. We do see the French tongue. So once again, another tongue card. We see all these different ones flying around. They all, once again, focus on the commandery wagon. And we can see here this also ships 8 gendarmes, which are the very powerful French heavy cav unit. And it costs 1,500 wood. All right. Moving on, we've got the Russian tongue. Once again, sending a commandery wagon and 13 oprikniks for 1,500 wood. Moving on, we do see the good old Sentinels again. The defensive musketeer unit. 16 of those bad boys. 8 hospitalers. And we do have the fire throwers as well. Moving on, this is actually quite crazy. 2 fixed gun wagons. Absolutely insane. I don't know why we've got a team one here. That's really good as well. That would be pretty good. I think these are very good for treaty. Very, very good for treaty. Can you imagine all the walls and the fixed guns on top, and then you've got the sentinels that really improve the more fortifications that are around? That would be really nice. I'm not too sure. It does say they're stronger near buildings, especially fortifications. So does fortifications mean outposts, or does it just mean walls? Not too sure what the definition of fortification is, but we'll leave it there. Moving on, we've got the Mediterranean Mercenary Army. 2,000 coin, you get 1 little bombard, 3 Elmettos, and 4 Zouaves. I think this card is also in the Italian deck as well. And we've also got, the Royal Horsemen. That's 7 Royal Horsemen, 1,500 gold. Guard, Cavalry Mercenary running a heavy war horse that damages units while moving. Oh, very interesting. Damaging while moving. That's kind of crazy. We have the Bourbon Allies here. 1,000 gold. We get some Royal Musketeers with a sharp rapier in melee and charged pistol. Very nice. Moving on, we do see the rockets here. Equips your fire throwers with rockets in addition to their other weapons. Rockets inflict bonus damage to all infantry and have significantly more range. We'll have to see how significant that is, but that is kind of crazy. So you could have some really jacked up fire throwers. They'll be fire thrower, then they'll transform into flamethrower, and then they'll transform into like rocket throwers pretty much. That's kind of crazy. It doesn't say though, because if you don't get this card, flamethrowers, I guess they just have the rocket upgrade, but these are like attachments. I guess you could become a flamethrower. It's like a charged attack, and then there's also this as well where they fire rockets. We'll have to see. We do have this dignitaries. Dignitaries. Bestowed with high rewards, Hospitalers are granted access to additional ranged armor and a charged pistol attack. Wow, they get increased line of sight, 4 line of sight. That's a lot. And they get some ranged armor as well. We see flintlock rockets here. Grants your sentinels a powerful charged rocket launcher attack and significantly increases their combat stats, but also makes them more expensive. So yeah, so they sort of go up by 50% in cost. Their build bounty is increased, of course, with that as well. Hit points are increased, though, by 50% to line of sight. And they get the mortar attack action and siege action as well. So it's really good. I like the way Malta play. They kind of have all of these sort of like attachments or upgrades for units. We see it with the flamethrowers. They can go to, the fire throwers. They can go to flamethrower. They can go to the rocket type unit. We also now have the sentinels that have a rocket ability as well. So there's lots of gunpowder with the Maltese, which is really awesome to see. Moving on, we've got the Knights of Malta again. This one, you actually ship 5 Hospitalers for each fort you have on the map. Interesting. So I think that used to be every TC, but this is every fort that you have. All right. Morgan's flagship. This is a mighty battleship. Very nice. And we've got another mighty battleship for 1,000 coin. And of course, the Order galleys again. And something very, very interesting. Only 1 factory again. There is not 2 factories. Just like with the Italians, we only have 1 factory. But there is this Sicilian supply here, which gives you a steady trickle of food, and villagers gather food faster from mills. So this is definitely one that you're going to be wanting to go for instead of your second factory. So there we go, guys. Age 1 to 4, they're all the unique cards. Let me know, of course, down in the comments below what you think about this. Are any cards, do you think, too overpowered, underpowered? What cards are you going to be using first? What are the staples that are going to be in your deck? I think, personally, we're going to be seeing this Wignacore in here. That's a really good card. Definitely going to be seeing German Tongue, potentially, as your first Age 2 card. And maybe the British Tongue as well, off the back of that. I think the commandery sort of building is going to be really key. Having at least 2 of those on the battlefield, enabling you to essentially teleport your units every sort of 15 seconds. I think that's sort of the recharge rate, every 15 seconds, 20 seconds, something like that. So a lot of mobility with the Maltese, looking like a lot of eco as well, which is very interesting. So hopefully maybe some good Age 2 play that we can get with these civs. So there we go, guys. We ran through all of the unique cards for the Maltese. I hope you really enjoyed it. There's going to be plenty more content coming for both Italy and Malta. Stay tuned. This is absolutely crazy. The devs have done a fantastic job, and I hope you really enjoy this video and future videos as well. There is a new feature to YouTube, which is the Super Thanks, which is down below. That is essentially a donation. So if you want to go above and beyond to support myself with these videos, then please consider super thanksing, super thank youing me. There we go. Got there in the end. Thanks very much, guys. I'll catch you in the next video or the next stream. Catch you later.